Hello everyone. Today, I will be talking about the P.P.P lesson structure. This is one of the methods in teaching grammar. The P.P.P model is used to describe typical stages of a presentation of new language. This includes 3 stages: the presentation, practice, and production stages, hence the P.P.P. Let's talk about first the presentation stage. Here, the teacher presents the new grammar concept or vocabulary in a meaningful context or situation. This is like the warm-up of the discussion. Some examples of presentation stage are building up stories, using realia, like newspaper cuttings, household items, or hobby materials, using flashcards, and miming. The presentation stage should be fun and informative at the same time, because its aim is to ensure that the students understand the context you are presenting and to get them start thinking about it. One example of the presentation stage is letting them read the story of the bull and the donkey from the book 1001 Nights. In reading this story, they will be entertained. They will learn a moral. And most importantly, in this context, they will learn the correct grammatical structure of the sentences, like learning how to write a dialogue. Again, the first stage, the presentation stage, is the stage where we, teachers, will present the new grammar concept or vocabulary in a meaningful, interesting, entertaining context or situation. The next stage in the P.P.P lesson structure is the practice stage. This is the stage wherein the students begin to use the elements of the target language that they learned in the previous activity. This is usually controlled by the teachers. Here, the learners practice saying or writing the language structure or vocabulary correctly. And the teachers have to certainly model and correct if mistakes occur. The typical practice stage activities include drill sentences or sounds, multiple choice exercises, gap fill task, and directed or paired conversation practice. Here, the students will use what they learned through paper and pen. For example, after reading the story of the donkey and the bull, the teacher can make them answer this question. What is the correct form of dialogue among the following? There are 4 choices. Can you spot which is the correct answer? Yes, letter A. That is the correct form of dialogue among the following. In this activity, the correct form of dialogue will gonna be emphasized to them. Of course, if common errors persistently occur, then a specific exercise or recap session might be useful. Once learners have demonstrated that they fully understand the key learning points and are able to demonstrate this without mistakes in the practice stage, they can move to the last stage of the P.P.P, the production stage. Here, the students are encouraged to use the target language as fluently and naturally as possible to replicate use outside of the language classroom. The typical production stage activities include role plays, communication tasks like presentations, speeches, debates, articles, collaborative tasks, and discussion activities. Example, our teacher in Great Books gave us an activity to role-play the story of the donkey and the bull. Through that activity, we were able to practice speaking English with correct pronunciations, intonations, phrasing, and emotions. And up to this day, I still use what I learned from that activity, not just in school, but also outside. And in that activity, our teacher did not intervene or correct us while producing the language or while role playing. Rather, she addressed our mistakes after the mistake has been completed or after the role play has been completed. Just like any other teaching methods, the PPP lesson structure have its own advantages and disadvantages. The advantages and disadvantages of the PPP lessons in language teaching. The advantages. First, it's easy to adopt and good for new language teachers. Second, it's widely applicable and very flexible. Third, it's easy to plan a lesson around and has a clear logical structure for students and educators to follow. And the fourth advantage is that the evidence shows that teachers trained on this method are more likely to use new teaching methods than those who do not. The disadvantages of the PPP lessons in language teaching. First, it encourages and prioritizes accuracy over fluency. Second, the presentation stage is too teacher focused and has limited and the students has limited engagement. So it's up to the teachers how will they incorporate the students more in the discussion. The third disadvantage is that it can become boring to students if used repeatedly. And the fourth disadvantage, research suggests that it might not be the most effective way in teaching language.
So, thank you for listening and have a good day.